The hunt for Osama bin Laden, the notorious leader of the Al-Qaeda terrorist organization, stands as one of the most thrilling manhunts in modern history. Osama bin Laden was not just a name, he was the embodiment of an ideology, a symbol of terror that shook the world to its very core. Born into a wealthy Saudi Arabian family, bin Laden's path to infamy was as winding as it was chilling. His leadership of Al-Qaeda, an extremist group founded in the late 80s, placed him at the helm of a global network of terror and destruction. The world first truly took notice of bin Laden in 1998, following the devastating bombings of US embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. These attacks, which claimed the lives of over 200 innocent people and injured thousands, were the first indication of bin Laden's reach and the depth of his hatred. They marked a turning point, propelling bin Laden from a fringe figure in global terrorism to its very epicenter. But to understand bin Laden's significance, we need to delve deeper into his role within Al-Qaeda. Bin Laden was not merely a figurehead. He was the ideological leader, the strategic mastermind, the financier, and the charismatic recruiter. His vision for a global jihad against the West shaped Al-Qaeda's mission and tactics. His vast wealth, inherited from his family's construction empire, funded the group's operations. His charismatic speeches and messages attracted thousands to his cause, spreading his toxic ideology far and wide. His role in global terrorism was multifaceted and insidious. He became the face of a new kind of warfare, one that leveraged fear and violence to advance a radical and destructive agenda. This made him a prime target for US intelligence agencies. His ability to elude capture for so long only added to his mystique and fueled his legend within extremist circles. The search for bin Laden would soon become a high priority for the United States and its allies. The hunt was on, and it would prove to be a long, complex, and costly endeavor. But the stakes were high. The world needed to be rid of this harbinger of terror. The September 11th attacks in 2001 dramatically intensified the hunt for bin Laden, marking a turning point in US foreign policy. This fateful day, when nearly 3,000 innocent lives were lost, sparked an immediate and profound reaction across the globe. The world watched in horror as the twin towers of the World Trade Center in New York City crumbled to the ground, forever altering the New York skyline and the American psyche. In the aftermath, a nation mourned. But alongside the grief, a collective resolve emerged. The United States, under the leadership of President George W. Bush, declared a war on terror. The objective was clear: to dismantle Al-Qaeda, the terrorist organization responsible for the attacks, and bring its leader, Osama bin Laden, to justice. The hunt for bin Laden was not new. In fact, the US had been trying to locate him for years prior to the 9/11 attacks. However, the events of that September morning brought a renewed sense of urgency and focus to the mission. The Central Intelligence Agency, along with other intelligence agencies worldwide, stepped up their efforts, embarking on what would become one of the most extensive and challenging manhunts in history. Bin Laden, however, proved to be a formidable adversary. Known to be constantly on the move, he managed to evade capture time and time again. The mountainous regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan, with their complex networks of caves and tunnels, provided an ideal hiding place. Intelligence agencies were faced with the daunting task of locating a single individual in this vast, rugged terrain. Despite these challenges, the hunt for bin Laden was relentless. The US employed a wide array of strategies, from boots on the ground to advanced surveillance technology. Yet, for nearly a decade, bin Laden remained a step ahead, always just out of reach. Despite these efforts, bin Laden remained elusive, hiding in the mountainous regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan. With bin Laden's location unknown, the US and its allies launched a relentless search that spanned nearly a decade. This period, marked by the mid-2000s, was characterized by a series of attempts to locate the elusive terrorist leader. The task was daunting, but the world's superpowers were not deterred. The hunt for bin Laden was a global effort, with intelligence agencies from different nations pooling their resources. The Central Intelligence Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and international allies worked in tandem, sharing information and connecting the dots. The role of intelligence sharing cannot be overstated. It was this collective effort that kept the search alive, kept the hope kindling even in the face of numerous frustrations and false leads. The mid-2000s also saw the advent of a new player in the game: drone technology. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, became an essential tool in the search. They provided eyes in the sky, capable of surveilling vast areas without risking human lives. Drones scoured the rugged terrains of Afghanistan, the dense forests of Pakistan, and the hidden corners of the Middle East, in the hope of catching a glimpse of the world's most wanted man. But bin Laden proved to be a master of evasion. Leads would surface, only to evaporate into thin air. Promising intelligence would turn out to be false alarms. The search was like chasing a phantom, an elusive figure always one step ahead. It was a game of cat and mouse, except the mouse was always disappearing into the shadows. These frustrations, however, did not dampen the resolve of those in pursuit. If anything, they only served to intensify the determination. Every dead end, every false lead, only added fuel to the fire of resolve. The world wanted justice, and it would not rest until it was served. The search continued, with bin Laden's elusive nature only intensifying the determination to find him. In 2011, after years of tireless searching, US intelligence finally located bin Laden in Abbottabad, Pakistan. The discovery was a turning point, a moment that marked the beginning of the end for the world's most wanted man. The US government had to devise a plan, one that was meticulous and foolproof to ensure the successful capture or elimination of bin Laden. This plan was dubbed Operation Neptune Spear. To understand the gravity of the operation, let's put things into perspective. The mission was carried out in a foreign territory without the knowledge of the host country. It was a high-stakes operation with potential international repercussions. The risk was enormous, but the potential payoff? Monumental. The planning phase was extensive. The mission was to be executed by the elite Navy SEALs Team 6, a group of highly trained individuals who were prepared to face any challenge. They spent weeks rehearsing, using a mock-up of bin Laden's compound to ensure they knew every inch of the place. On the night of the operation, 2 stealth Black Hawk helicopters carried the SEALs into Abbottabad, flying low to evade Pakistani radar. The operation was expected to be swift, but complications arose when one of the helicopters crash-landed within the compound. Despite this setback, the SEALs pressed on, showcasing their sheer determination and resilience. As they infiltrated the compound, they encountered resistance, but they were prepared. After a brief firefight, they reached their target. The world's most wanted man was no more. The significance of Operation Neptune Spear cannot be overstated. It was a testament to the tenacity of the US intelligence community and the bravery of the SEALs. The operation didn't just end the life of bin Laden, it also sent a powerful message to the world, that no matter how long it takes, justice will be served. On May 2, 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed, marking the end of a decade-long hunt. The hunt for Osama bin Laden left a lasting impact on global politics and the war on terror. In the wake of bin Laden's death, the world paused to take stock. Reactions were widespread and varied. From jubilation in some quarters of the United States to protests and cries of martyrdom in others, the world seemed to take a collective breath. The face of terror as we knew it had been extinguished, but the ideological flame that fueled him and his followers remained. Bin Laden's death marked a significant blow to Al-Qaeda. The group lost not only its figurehead but its driving force. This, however, did not mean the end of the organization. Like a hydra, it simply grew new heads. Al-Qaeda factions and offshoots continued to operate, some even gaining strength in the power vacuum left by bin Laden's absence. The death of their leader became a rallying cry, a symbol of martyrdom to be avenged. Yet, the hunt for bin Laden also had a profound effect on the global fight against terrorism. It underscored the resilience and determination of those committed to combating terror. It demonstrated that no individual, no matter how elusive, is beyond the reach of justice. It served as a stark reminder to those who would follow in bin Laden's footsteps of the ultimate fate that awaits them. But the legacy of this hunt is not just a story of victory over evil. It's a reminder of the ongoing challenges in the fight against global terrorism. The world has learned that terrorism is not confined to one person or group. It is a complex, multifaceted issue that requires a comprehensive global response. The hunt for bin Laden has shown us the importance of collaboration and intelligence sharing among nations. It has highlighted the necessity of understanding and addressing the root causes of extremism to prevent future bin Ladens from rising. Though the hunt for bin Laden has ended, the fight against terrorism continues, and the lessons learned from this manhunt remain as relevant as ever.